Guys, welcome back to the channel. I know it's been a minute since mnione kwa YouTube channel, but we are back. And this time we are coming back now. We've already driven all STIs. Now it's time that we teach you about them. So let me tell you why, let me tell you how Subaru got here. Because you know, for every company, you have to start somewhere. So the first STI turbos, I'm going to talk about STI turbos. That's from the GC8. GC8 all the way. Okay, GC8 start from the VF, aside from the version 2. Version 2 used a TDO5 16G. Then after the TDO5 16G, now they introduced the VF. And they started with the VF22. After the VF22, they went to VF22, 23, 24. They jumped, because I said I'm talking about the state turbos. They went all the way to VF28 and then VF29. For 22, 23, 24, that's version 3, version 4, and they're also ball bearing. Version 5 and version 6, you can either use the VF28 or the VF29 turbo. Now, after that, they came with the new age. New age cars, the bagay, the GDB. If you hear GD, you're going to mention new age. So the GDB, they started with the bagay, which was using a VF30, and it was an equal length, and it was a journal bearing turbo. Now, the Subaru decided, how can we make more power vizuri? How can we make the car better? You know, as a company, strive to make the car better and better. So what they did away with the VF30, and they introduced a VF37, which is a twin scroll turbo, and it has equal length headers. That makes the boost come up really nice and increases torque also. So that's why if you check the torque of the Bagay STI and you check the torque of the Blobai STI going on forward, they usually have more torque, up to knots of 400 Newton meters of torque. That's why that's actually why when the Blobai came, that's when unasikia kila mtu anasemanga N10 ni mbaya, because that sudden torque from 300 and was it 398? This one has 398 Newton meters. But the N8 or the Bagay was 373. 373. Cameraman anajua. Anajua hizi vitu. 373. Bro, that's a huge jump. And mind you, these are cars, back in the days, kulikuwa na kitu inaitwa gentleman's agreement. So the horsepower figures that are here are not actually true. These cars, okay, so as I said, this is Japan. The Japan, they had a gentleman's agreement which they used to cap their horsepower to 276. So they said this was 280, but people who actually downloaded them, they found out that these cars were making up to 300, above 300 horsepower, and torque was well of, let's say, 400 Newton meters of torque, which made this car really powerful. One thing I also want all of you to remember, Dojo, these cars are powerful. These cars in Japan with proper fuel na timing yake, these cars are a 13-second car. That's serious power, honestly, if you ask me. Here in Kenya, it's hard making that power. That's why utapata, if you get an N10 STI, niko healthy, inaweza kuchokoza, ushangae what is happening. So let me show you what makes this car run efficiently. Number one, this car is from Japan. It came with this BOV. So if you get a BOV, again, I talked about a BOV on my TikTok, whether you should know that it has you're supposed to tune for it. But this one came with it from Japan, so I don't know if maybe they tuned for it. Another thing, this car uses drive-by cable. You can see. Now, in the Hawkeye STI, that's the 07 STI, they introduced sensor. But most Subaru people know cable is better. So, another thing, when you know this is a top mount intercooler. Top mount intercooler means where the engine is, it's getting all the heat. Now, Subaru thought of that and they said, how are we going to lower intake temperatures? Because hot air comes from the turbo, goes into the intercooler and then into the manifold. They used an IC sprayer, that is called an intercooler sprayer, which you refill over here, and then the sprayers over here. Let me press them so you can see how they work. Because the hood is open, you can see you may spray, but ideally when you close the hood, it sprays on the intercooler. That lowers intake temperatures and keeps your boost vizuri, so that the car doesn't pull back timing. Because if the car pulls back timing, it becomes slightly slower. So they used an intercooler water spray to lower the intake temperatures. They used a bigger top mount. If you check, the WRX top mount is smaller than this. They used a bigger top mount so that, you know, because they used a bigger turbo, you need a bigger top mount so that it cools the amount of air that is coming in here. So these cars, stock as they are really capable of doing wonders. And by the way, fun fact, did you know the Blobai STI has a faster 0 to 100 than a VAB because of, number one, weight, and number two, you know, this is before Subaru actually sold the car to Toyota. So happened to into the original Subaru. If you check the interior, this is the cluster. the cluster is red and it's embroidered there, imeandikwa hapo STI. Unaona? STI, and you can check the red line revs the way all the way to 8,000 rpm. A WRX revs to 7,000 rpm. Now this car revs all the way to 8,000 rpm because number one, low compression, number two, the heads allow it to rev all the way to 8,000 rpm. Now the Blower STI also introduced something called DCCD. DCCD, it's how you tamper with the center differential. You can either send power to the front or to the back, so you control it from here. And you can see I don't want to touch it, but DCCD, so you can see whether you're sending power to the rear or to the front. Now again with the Blower STI, because the bag guy also had it, has a 6-speed STI transmission. This transmission is known worldwide for how robust it is. This transmission can take a lot of power and a lot of torque reliably without any problem. And you're reminded again, STI, Apachini, STI. Man, this car, let me tell you something. For those who know me or have been watching my channel for quite some time, you know that the Blower STI or the N10 STI is my dream car. Like this, to me, this is a dream car. I see, like, okay, Germans perform well, yes. I mean, I'd like a Turbo S and all that, but I don't know, there's just something about, it's not always about speed. There's just something about, that's why utapata some CEO who is a hypercar CEO drives something like a GR Yaris, because what that car offers in terms of driving dynamics, the heritage, how the driving experience feels. I've driven and I've sat in so many cars, and how Subaru delivers their power is just phenomenal to me. So those are some of the things that make this car special. So the buttons for the intercooler water sprayer are here. So if you press that, it sprays the water into your intercooler that I've shown earlier, so that it keeps the intake temperatures low. So for me, the driving position is actually nice, which is good for heel toe. You can heel toe really nicely and shift really nicely with aluminium pedals and your 6-speed. So this 6-speed is a short throw, so the throws are not that long. The Genome exhaust. So this Genome exhaust makes this car scream perfectly on high RPMs. So when you're firing the car, unasikia tu whoop whoop. I'll show you the clip so that you can see what I'm talking about exactly. Check it guys. Zafinye button. Check it. Anti-lag bro. Sebastian. Anti-lag Downshift. Quarter space. Check here. Kaizen. So I don't know if you guys have noticed, hii gari haina rumble but iko na scream. That's because of the equal length headers, and personally ina sound fiti. Sitaonyesha sura yako, lakini Kim, hii gari ina sound aje? Iko proper, si ndio? Na dereva mwenyewe anajua kuipush. Wakufollow wapi Kai? Kaizen. Bana follow help. Unajua sina watu wa Subaru tusaidiane. Gari inavuta bwana. Check the handling. Kai what? Kaizen. Ama namna gani? Kim sasa nasikia tutameta. Sibate. Gari navuta bana. Ini stock map, by the way. Unasikia poa? Hey! Kai what? So you guys can follow him on Kaizen 151B. You'll get to see more of this car, the power it has, and everything about this car, the build process, everything.